So I just finished playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, because Assassin's Creed, the whole series, is like one of my favorite gaming series ever. So according to my Xbox stats, it says I played it for 8 days and 3 hours, which is like 192 hours. So I'm not sure if that means, I don't know. But my save game stuff says that I played the game for 94 hours. So it's got a lot of life in it. I use the website How Long to Beat, and it tells you the main story is like 31 hours long. If you're a completionist, someone like me, you get close, around the 85-hour mark. So I went a little bit over. The game is fucking gigantic. It is huge. This is the world map for the game, and it just takes a very long time to get through all of it. There are obviously a lot of main missions. There's a plethora of side quests and stuff. It's a game that'll definitely keep you occupied. And, everything going on with losing Roxy, this was like one of the best distractions I could possibly have. Is it my favorite Assassin's Creed game? No. I think my favorite now and probably will always be Origins. I just fucking love that game. That game was also gigantic, but I don't know, it was more, I don't know how to describe it. It was more of a complete full game with everything that I like in a video game. I'm obsessed with open world games. The longer it takes, the better. Gameplay wise, it got really frustrating at times. Kind of went back to some of the original games where I almost threw my controller at the wall because it's so sensitive. Like if you're like climbing something and you want them to drop, like she won't fucking drop. Or like she will start like climbing things. Like I didn't click a button. What are you climbing for? Stop it. Or if you jump off, like you meant to jump down to one ledge, she like flips off the whole thing. You go landing all the way to the ground. And like, damn it, I just wasted so much time climbing this tall ass thing. Ugh. So you do play as two different characters. You have Yasuke and you have Naoe. You don't get to play as him until after Act 1 is over with her. Then you have options to switch back and forth. And honestly, I really only used him to play his actual story that she can't do. Outside of that, I always played as her. So she is like your true blue Assassin's Creed character. She can do the fancy dives into the haystacks. She has eagle vision. He does not. That was really frustrating. He doesn't have the hidden blades, so you can't do stealth really with him. With bow and arrow, I guess you can, but he's super clunky. Like he's really, like he feels heavy. He can't climb worth a damn. And it was just frustrating playing as him because he wasn't like your true blue Assassin's Creed character. Nimble, quick, can climb, and can see through walls and shit. And that's why I pretty much only used her. Although he is pretty badass when it comes to just full-on brutality. That's when he was really fun to play as. But it's a beautiful game. It definitely reminds me of Ghost of Tsushima, a game I absolutely fucking love. So visually, it looks great. You can spend a very long time playing this game. And overall, I liked it. I liked it. I didn't love it. Like I said, there's a couple other ones that I probably prefer, like Origins. And I also really enjoyed Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I love that one too. So I prefer those over this one. But this one I still was very entertained by. And I was so glad that I had to play it. I would definitely recommend it, especially if you're into this series. So yeah, that's my thoughts. This is the funniest death I've ever seen in a movie ever. And I forgot how bad this was. This is Academy Award-winning actress Marion Cotillard. And this was from The Dark Knight Rises.
Prepare yourselves. My father's work is done.
She went... It's like when you teach a dog the play dead trick, they're like, play dead. It's like a death in a cartoon, like, oh, you got me. What makes this scene even better is the reactions of these three. By the way, also, every single person right here, also an Oscar winner. There's 4 Oscar winners in that one scene alone. Like, this is they're like, Gary Oldman's just like, what the fuck is she doing? This is a Christopher Nolan movie. He's directed Academy Award-winning performances before.
Prepare yourselves. My father's work is done.
Cut. Nailed it. So apparently there's going to be a Beetlejuice 3. It's already in the works. Did we need it though? Did we? In both an unexpected and also not too surprising move by Warner Brothers, it's been confirmed that Beetlejuice 3 is already in development. Like, okay, Beetlejuice was a decent movie. It was not the original. Let's just be honest here. It did not capture the same magic as the original, but that was going to be almost impossible to do anyway. And for what it was, I liked Beetlejuice. I thought it was a fun movie. I just don't know if we need to keep stretching it, because it's like, maybe we just say goodbye, right? Sometimes we just gotta say goodbye. Or do it like 40 years from now when most of us millennials are dead. I guess that means both of them would be dead too, but that's fine. Just AI them or something. There won't be anyone alive who will care. So yeah, what are they gonna call it? Beetlejuice? But I don't know. I'm not excited for it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. What about you guys? Is that something you're excited about, especially fans of the original movie? I think it's just time to set it out to pasture. Bloodfest, huh? Yeah, there's a couple drops of blood in this movie. I watched this last night because, well, boredom. Basically, it's about this group of teenage friends who go to a Halloween, like Fear Farm type places. This one's called Bloodfest, and it's themed on like slasher movies. But then pretty much right from the get-go, it's revealed that, yeah, the blood is going to be real, because we're going to be killing people. This is the main bad guy who's creating all of this madness. He's very over the top, very high-pitched, but he's also just like a total fucking, he's got a goddamn cane or some shit. He's like he's more cartoon villain than any other cartoon villain I've ever seen. And he's not cartoon, I don't think. Maybe he is. Meep, meep. No. And the group of kids is led by this person here. I think I remember him playing Peter Pan on Once Upon a Time, and now I'm really embarrassed that I just said I watched Once Upon a Time. Oh well, can't take that back. Can't erase what I've already recorded. It's impossible. So he, along with his friends, are trying to escape I almost called it Hellfest, another horror movie. To escape Bloodfest while being chased down by just so many different, bad people. You got zombies, you got vampires, people with chainsaws, and it's a bloody movie. Hence the name, Bloodfest. Is it good? It's entertaining. I'll say that. I didn't hate this movie. It's one of those movies that's kind of just like a good background movie. You're kind of not distracted, but sort of are. As long as you're paying like somewhat attention to it, it's a decent, it's not awful. It is definitely cheesy and corny in many occasions. The acting isn't exactly the best, but for what it is, basically just, it's really here to be a bloody, violent horror movie / I guess comedy kind of. And for that, you know what? It did its job. I watched this on Prime Video. I don't remember if it was through Shudder or not, but I didn't pay for it. Listen, sometimes you just need a movie to kind of just sort of hold your attention and to be entertaining. And honestly, Bloodfest is that. But I would also never ever put this movie in like a top 50 list of best horror movies, not even top 100. But it's there, right? It exists. And what else do you want? I want my movies to exist. I'd give it a 5 out of 10. It's just very... take it or leave it. You know what I mean? Wehadababyitsaboy. Do you guys remember? Why is it dark in here? Oh, I'm sorry. Whoopsies. Wehadababyitsaboy. Do you guys remember that commercial? It was some insurance company or whatever, and it started with a guy making a call to someone, and he's like, yeah, this is Bob, Wehadababyitsaboy. And then it cuts to an older couple in their living room. The phone rings, the guy's like, hello? You have a collect call from Bob, Wehadababyitsaboy. And then the guy just says, wrong number, hangs up. And then his wife is like, who was that, dear? And the guy was like, it was Bob. They had a baby. It's a boy. Then then the wife goes, oh. Oh. Like she's impressed that whoever this guy, Bob, is, that she was impressed that his wife managed to give birth. Because she was like, oh. Hold on, I'm going to try to find the commercial if I can. 1 second, please. Okay, what the fuck? I found it. How do I always do this?
I'd like to make a collect call, please. First name Bob, last name is Wehadababyitsaboy.
Hello?
Quick call for Mr. Bob Wehadababyitsaboy.
Sorry, wrong number.
Who's that, dear?
Bob, they had a baby. It's a boy.
Oh.
Don't cheat the phone company. Save money the legal way. Call Geico. A 15-minute call.
It's a boy.
Oh.
Don't cheat the phone company. Save money the legal way. Call
know why I
Geico.
laughed so
A
much at that.
15-minute call could save.
They must not be very close family because, I mean, he didn't even take a collect call. That guy's a dick. Anyway, do you guys remember that commercial, millennials and older especially? Back when people actually were forced to watch commercials? My impression of that one lady chef on the Food Network from years ago. Don't know if she's still on there or not. Welcome to the show, everyone. I thought I would treat my family to a meal that's really a staple in this household, something we've had many times before, obviously. So I thought I would make a nice little pot of spaghetti. And when we're finished, of course, over that, we're going to have a little microplane, and we're going to grade a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano. And some people like to melt a nice little piece of mozzarella. Forget about it. Over the spaghetti. I kind of turned into that blue flying thing from that Star Wars movie at the end. And of course, after dinner, we're going to sit around and watch my little kid play a popular game called Super Mario Brothers. And then I think we might watch a new segment on that one person who's in jail, you know, Luigi Mangione, for allegedly shooting and killing a billionaire. And then we will cap off the night and we'll watch a movie starring Mr. Roberto Benigni. What are you going to do about it? Anyway, do you know who I'm talking about? $8,000 was deposited into your Cash App or Apple Pay or Chime. What will you use it for? Probably just a lot of bags of Cheeto cheese puffs, if I'm being honest. Wait a minute, let me reread that. If $8,000 was deposited into your Cash App or Apple Pay or Chime, what will you use it for? I have choices. Okay, you gave me choice. This is multiple choice, or do I have to choose one? Okay, anyway. A, bills, car, apartment, tuition, or tuition, school, rent, invest, stock, son with a capital S, daughter with a lowercase d, she's not as important, medical, funeral, family. Is there a B or a C or a D? You started with A. Where's the rest of my choices? Is it a family named funeral? I'm confused. I don't know. I guess with those choices, sir or madam, probably bills, car, and apartment. Well, house. So I'll give you those three. Can I Cash App you or PayPal you just to enjoy your day with your family and friends? If yes, drop your Cash App, PayPal on, and then he gives all of his things. Add me in any of this app and see how real I'm. I don't feel like you're real, though, based on that sentence structure. Hey, hi, do you need $400 twice weekly for shopping? I mean, yeah. But $400, dude? Okay. I'm getting $8,000 just from the get-go from this person, so. But there's no such thing as too much money. Pa James. Hello, beautiful. Oh, stop. I don't know what your attitude really looked like, okay? But to be honest, I'd love you to be my sugar baby. And I'm willing to take care of your needs, rents, and also pay you $7,000 a week, love, if you're up for it, though. $7,000 a week. That's a lot of fucking Cheetos cheese puffs. And I'd also have to buy a whole bunch of fucking, hand wipes, because that shit gets all over your hands, you know what I mean? Let me get back to you, Daddy. I will get back to you, though, after I'm done sending $3,000 to this Nigerian prince who emailed me. So when I'm done with that, I'll get back to you guys, okay? Do you sometimes wonder why movie titles are titled the way they are? So I watched this movie a little bit ago. It's called Dark Windows, and I don't know why it's called Dark Windows. I kind of feel like sometimes they're like, well, shit, what do we name this thing? I don't fucking know. Anyway, this movie came out in 2023. It's only an hour and 20 minutes long. It's a horror movie, a slasher movie, if you will. A group of teenagers take a trip to an isolated summer house in the countryside. What starts as a peaceful getaway turns into a horrific nightmare when a masked man begins to terrorize them in the most gruesome ways. Well, really? You watched the same movie I watched? So this is billed as a slasher movie, right? And even for an hour and 20 some odd minutes long, it feels like it takes forever to get to the slashing and the next snapping. That isn't as disturbing as one would think. There's this really just slow build up to kind of nothing. Also, it's incredibly predictable. Like, you can pretty much figure out who the killer is. Even if you don't know the exact person, you know where that person comes from. And really, this is just a movie about 3 people who go to this giant farmhouse, and then they just like dick around for 40 minutes and nothing happens, and then bam, something happens. There is no like, the description there said, begins to terrorize them in the most gruesome ways. Bitch, where and when? Because once the killer basically reveals themselves to this trio, the movie's over in like 10 minutes. And they're not like picked off throughout as the movie goes. The deaths all happen at the end, all of them. And then it's just like, when it ends, you're like, oh, okay. Maybe if you guys snapped some more necks in less disturbing ways, maybe we would have been fine. Maybe we would have enjoyed this movie. I didn't think it was as bad as I was expecting it was going to be, but I didn't like it. I'm sorry. It's slow, it's predictable. There really is nothing happening until that final 10 to 12 minutes. And not one goddamn dark window. Not a murky window, not a grayed out window. No dark windows to even, you know? Anyway, out of a possible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 dark windows, I give it one lit up one with someone staring out of it. I don't know who the fuck that is, but there you go. That's my rating. Okay, bye. You know, in Transformers, right, they have Autobots and Decepticons, right? Decepticons. Wouldn't it have made more sense then, instead of calling them Autobots, to call them Trustworthicons? Right? Trustworthicons? Because the Decepticons, so like trustworthy, Trustworthicons. They all had names like Megatron, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Starscream, Ratchet. How come there isn't one just named Gary? Right? Maybe a Transformer named Sir Reginald or something. Would have been more diverse, I think. Anyway, I gotta let this roll out to over 60 seconds because you know how TikTok is, so... Sorry, this is awkward. I apologize, but TikTok's like, oh, make your videos longer. Are we there yet? Okay, great. Hey everyone, I have some unfortunate news. I got the test results back and unfortunately I have mild to moderate vitamin D deficiency, which of course means that I'm not getting enough D in my life. So I loved this game. I love this game a lot. This is called The Devil in Me. It's actually, I guess, the season finale of the Dark Pictures anthology. So basically these games are like a choose your own adventure book, but in video game form. Basically every choice you make will lead you down a slightly different path or a much larger path. Any of the characters could die like early on in the game or late in the game or not die at all. And it's kind of up to you how you play the game. So like you can have, so these are like the 5 main characters here. It's just cool because like if you kill one of them, there's certain parts of the game you'll never see. So you can replay the game, make different choices and stuff like that, and you can save all of them, save 2 of them, 3 of them. And that's why it's a lot of fun, because it has such a huge replayability factor. Is that a word? Replayability? It is now. And this game in particular is, I love it especially because, I tell true crime stories over on my other TikTok page. Link in my bio, you'll see it. It says Making a True Crimerer. So anyway, shameless plug. But the game centers around H.H. Holmes, or as one of the characters in the game calls him, H.H. Holmes. The opening scene of the game is actually at, his murder castle where 2 guests are checking in. But then the rest of the game is in present day. These characters are brought to a recreation of H.H. Holmes' hotel. And soon they're kind of figuring out, oh shit, something's bad happening. Because there's a guy who's dressed up like H.H. Holmes going around and potentially killing them or not killing them at all. It's up to you. By the way, just in case you didn't know, H.H. Holmes is or was a real murderer. He is considered America's first serial killer, where he killed a confirmed 10 people, but the claim or the myth, the rumor, is that he has killed hundreds of other people. He built this hotel with traps built inside of it. He has like doors that open to brick walls. I think he had a body chute. It's a very real thing. Like, that was a real, actual thing. So this game centering around that was just really interesting to me in particular. But as a game, as a choose-your-own-adventure type game, this for me, was a lot of fun. And it was kind of creepy at times. I know, wearing headphones, I jumped a few times. Don't do that to me ever again, Dark Pictures Anthology. Don't ever do that again. So anyway, now I'm going to play the other games in this series. And then I think there's a season 2 coming out or starting soon. And I think the first game of that season is in space. So that should be really cool. Anyway. The Devil in Me. The Dark Pictures Anthology. Highly recommended game if you're into that style of game. This is a lot of... It's like The Quarry. Or those Walking Dead tell games. Just like that. So yeah, check it out. What's one of your favorite speeches from a TV show? This one's mine. This is the character Doc Cochran from the HBO show Deadwood.
If I was a more adaptable primate or one of your regular petitioners, I suspect I wouldn't feel this pain. I guess I'd have a wad of cartilage covering the patella, protecting me from this discomfort. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Just please, God, take that minister. What conceivable godly uses his protracted suffering to you? What conceivable godly use? What conceivable godly use was the screaming of all those men? Did you need to hear their death agonies to know your omnipotence? Mom! Mother, find my arm! Mommy! They shot my leg off! It hurts so bad. It hurts so bad. Admitting my understanding's imperfection. Trusting that you have a purpose. Praying that you consider it served. I beg you to relent. Thy will be done. Amen.
So that's basically a speech where Doc Cochran was angry at God for prolonging the suffering of a pastor that was dying in the show of an illness. And then he goes into, because he was also a doctor during the Civil War, and so he's angry as well for the suffering of all the men who had their limbs blown off. And it's just a really, powerful speech. And this is Brad Dourif, if you did not know. To me, he is one of the most criminally underrated actors. He was nominated for an Emmy for Best Supporting Actor for the show Deadwood, and I'm convinced it's because of this speech. He did not win. But this is the voice of Chucky. Yeah. He played Charles Lee Ray, the serial killer in Chucky, who then turned into the killer doll, and he voices him. He was also Grima Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings. I just think he is so underrated. He is actually legitimately a really fantastic actor. But yeah, this was just one of my favorite moments from the show Deadwood. Do you have a favorite speech or anything like that from a TV show? Don't turn out the lights. Or, hear me out, okay? Or, turn off the movie, huh? I watched this movie last night on Prime Video, Don't Turn Out the Lights, and now I'm regretting every single choice I've ever made in my life, including this one. It came out in 2023, it's an hour and 49 minutes long, it's a horror film. Reuniting for an unforgettable weekend, a group of high school friends takes a break from their separate lives at college to travel by RV to a musical festival. Their exciting weekend plans quickly unravel as they find themselves fighting to survive each other and the unknown. On paper, sounds great. On film, awful. You have 7 of quite possibly the most insufferable human beings ever put on film, squeezed into an RV. This is like a bunch of like 30-year-olds who were told, all right, you guys are 30, but pretend like you're all 19 and what, 19-year-olds do, for like partying and stuff. All right, and action. I actually wanted to enjoy this movie because the overall concept, if I'm being serious here for a second, I actually like the concept. There is some good framework here. My problem is, and this is a spoiler alert, okay, spoilers, is that there's no, not even a hint of an answer at the end of this thing. What is attacking all of these people? You don't know. We never find out. Is it a physical monster? Is it one of them who's like gone cuckoo, cuckoo and killing everyone? Is this like a figment of one of their imaginations? You don't know. And sometimes ambiguity in these types of movies work well. This one, it did not. It was frustrating. I love a good monster movie just as much as the next guy or gal. But I don't know if this was a monster movie. Sure, you see some, fucking burnt pizza hands here, but what was it? I don't always need answers, but sometimes you do. And this was one of those times where you do, and then they didn't. Everyone in the movie, what? Well, actually, you know what? That's unfair. There were actually some actors or actresses in this movie who were decent, but a lot of them were also just so like, ugh. I hope they never work again in this industry. That's terrible, Mike. I couldn't do it. I can't act. I don't know. They could have done more with this. There was a whole lot of slow buildup, a lot of filler with a bunch of nonsense that never became relevant. And they spent way too much time on these people than they did on like what this thing was. But the time you spend with these people, you don't care about any of them. Like, whatever, die. I don't care. That means the sooner you all die, the sooner this movie is over. So come on, get to it. Start dying. Okay? Sheepers, creepers. Oh, another movie I didn't really like that a lot of people actually liked. What? I don't know. Anyway, Don't Turn Out the Lights I thought was just an insufferable film. Just annoying from beginning to end. It could have been so much better, but it wasn't. Someone can take this idea, though, and turn it into something good, I think. I give it 2.163 out of a possible 10.98436. So there you go. Is there someone in your life, maybe a friend, family member, coworker, romantic partner, and just sort of based on kind of, how they are as people in general, you sit back and think to yourself, how the fuck did you get a driver's license? How did you pass a driving test? Not just the written one, but also the actual driving test. How did you do that? Because maybe you can't operate a can opener, but somehow you passed the test to operate a giant metal weapon on wheels, to drive amongst other innocent people. Do you know what I mean? Maybe a coworker who doesn't understand how to give change back to a customer, something simple like that. How the fuck do you own and operate a car legally? How? How, bitch? How? Anyway, that's my random question for the day. Okay, bye. Name one of your favorite villains from a TV show. I'll go first. TikTok, this is a clip from a TV show. It's not real. It's not real blood, okay? It's fake. It's actors. Got it? Okay. We're good? Okay.
Does that help you decide, America? Do not turn off the camera! You've seen how quickly I can kill. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Russell Edgington, and I have been a vampire for nearly 3,000 years. Now, the American Vampire League wishes to perpetrate the notion that we are just like you, and I suppose in a few small ways we are. We're narcissists. We care only about getting what we want, no matter what the cost, just like you. Global warming, perpetual war, toxic waste, child labor, torture, genocide. That's a small price to pay for your SUVs and your flat screen TVs, your blood diamonds, your designer jeans, your absurd garish McMansons. Futile symbols of permanence to quell your quivering, spineless souls. But no. In the end, we are nothing like you. We are immortal. Because we drink the true blood. Blood that is living, organic, and human. And that is the truth the AVL wishes to conceal from you. Because let's face it, eating people is a tough sell these days, so they put on their friendly faces to pass their beloved DRA. But make no mistake, mine is the true face of vampires. Why would we seek equal rights? You are not our equals. We won't eat you after we eat your children. Now time for the weather. Tiffany?
So that was the character Russell Edgington, who I think started in season 3 of True Blood. A show that, in my opinion, went downhill by the last couple seasons. But he was played by Dennis O'Hare, and you might recognize him from many seasons of American Horror Story. He is a wonderful actor, but his Russell Edgington character on True Blood was just fucking fantastic. It's like you really loved to hate this guy. But that's mine. What about you? What is this filter? I don't get it. Who is this supposed to be? Why do I have... What? Ouch. To my tongue. Why do I look like a librarian who's also kind of a thug? You know what I mean? What is this? I don't get it. Put that book back on the shelf right now or I'll get my butterfly knife out and stab you. My accent's changed from an old lady librarian to a New Yorker or something. I don't even fucking know. Anyway, hello? Can I help you? Okay. Oh, more little lip things, but now I'm beautiful. What does it say? AI generated content for entertainment only. Are you entertained? Wait, what is this? Another fingerprint thing? Okay, here we go. Put it in. 60 following, 206,000. Well, no. I got like 550 whatever thousand on this page and then 2.9 million on my other one. So nice try though. This is a Seinfeld filter. Look to the cookie. What does that mean? I don't know. I never watched the show. Not really, at least. Oh, God. Holy shit. That is horrifying. Is that George? Am I supposed to be George Costanza in this? What's the deal with airline food? Or, oh, it was a horrible Jerry Seinfeld impression. 3, 2, 1. Emptiness says, what's happening now? Okay, I'm just a fat Tron player. Hi. You know, I came on here to make a video that's not even close to this, but then that first filter popped up, and this is not the video I intended to make. Yeehaw. Yeehaw, motherfuckers, or something. Okay, bye. I have an unhealthy obsession with shark movies, and I don't know why. This is Bruce's sister, Gertrude. I watched this movie last night. It's called Great White. That's her shooting a flare gun underwater into a shark's mouth. So it's about this couple. I think it's Australia. It takes place in Australia. This couple who owns like a charter company where they take, plane rides or something. Basically, on one of these little trips, something happens where their plane is attacked by a shark and the plane is destroyed and it sinks, and then all they have is a raft and they are able to get on that raft. This one here with their other survivor friends. And then they're just stranded in the middle of the ocean. And they have no way of getting a hold of anyone because I guess none of them have their cell phones on them. But they're being also surrounded by sharks. And then it's just the typical stranded in the middle of the ocean shark movie plot from there on out. I really do feel like most of these shark movies are basically the same thing just over and over again. But I can't stop watching them and I don't know why. I've never met a shark in my life. Never pet one. Never seen one in real life. Actually, yes, I have at SeaWorld, but that was many years ago when I was a wee little child. Why can't we just make one of these movies where every single character is likable? Huh? Like, there's always one character. Always one hot guy character who's just a dick. But he's very pretty. You're just like, God, I want this person to die. Well, that's every freaking movie. Can't we just have one movie where everyone is just so likable that when they die, we're like, oh my God, that sucks. I mean, this particular movie doesn't really offer anything new or unique to the genre. It's got, you know, decent performances for the most part. Maybe at times a little cringe, but, you know, surprisingly normal. The sharks, once they show, there's certain shots where like, wow, that is some really bad CGI. But another time it's like, okay, that's a relatively believable looking shark. It's kind of hit and miss with their visuals. I don't know, I just didn't care about any of the people. Even though some of them were nice, I just didn't care about them. I hate when they put this on the poster. From the executive producers are 47 meters down. That means nothing. Those people had nothing to do with making the actual movie. From a guy who one time watched a movie about sharks and then paid money to someone to make a shark movie. That's basically what that means. Anyway, Great White is great blah, great meh, great eh. Stop it, Mike. It's completely forgettable. I will remember it because it's like every other shark movie. I just won't be able to assign this title to this movie because I won't really know. I won't remember that way. If you like just a silly, mindless shark movie to kind of have on the background, this is actually not that bad. It's just not good. I don't know. You can watch it on Prime Video. Yeah, that's how I watched it. So, 4 out of 10. I give it 4 out of 10. Okay, great, bye.
Can you guess this male celebrity in 10 clues or less?
Obviously.
Let's find out.
All right.
30s.
A bad time to be alive.
British.
Charlize Theron. Wait, no, she's South African and a lady.
Musical.
A confused category at the Golden Globes.
Company.
Oliver and.
Fellow.
Ray Liotta.
Dinosaur.
Mitch McConnell.
Anthony.
Mitch McConnell played by Anthony Hopkins.
Stopper.
Old age. It'll stop his heart soon because he's old.
Richard.
Dick.
Swaying.
Dick.
Do you think you have it?
Dick flopping.
The answer is Jonathan Bailey.
Jonathan Bailey.
Did you get it right? Let me
Duh.
know.
Question is, have y'all been to space? Have you been to space?
No, but I have been to a Golden Corral and got food poisoning. So. What happens after the movie ends? What happens when the movie ends and it cuts to black and the credits roll? I'm talking specifically about usually like horror movies or some kind of big action movie, right? Like when there's only one survivor left and there's like 70 dead bodies kind of just all over this campsite or whatever, wherever it takes place. Just corpses everywhere. You got people skewered with fucking spears. People have their heads burned. Some of them have their intestines just swimming out of their own bodies. Some of them have their wieners cut off and shoved up their noses. There's fucking like necklaces made out of human toes. You've got chainsaws just jammed up someone's severed torso. People's fucking eyes ripped out and replaced with fucking light bulbs. What happens when police arrive at these? We never see it. At the end of all of these slasher movies especially, we rarely ever see the aftermath. Because that one person who survived, it's like, whoa, what the fuck happened here? And it's like, you know, usually like a petite female, and they're like, did you do all this, ma'am? And they're like, no, it was a guy with a hockey mask, or it was a guy who, when we fell asleep, he came into our nightmares and he did all this. And like, how as police do you process that? How the fuck do you even begin processing that crime scene? Like, what the hell? That's a lot of work for a lawyer to do, defending a person who's clearly innocent, but they're the only person left alive. And they're alive because they smashed a giant television on the killer's heads, or shot him 96 times in the face. Somehow they got back up after that, of course, and they were shot one more time, and then they died. But then they come back in a sequel, which really complicates the fucking issue with the police work and trials and shit. Who goes on trial for all these murders? I mean, they can't believe the sole survivor, the final girl, right? Because it's like, oh, wait a minute, this guy you're saying did all this horrible carnage, and somehow you defeated him? It's a nightmare for the judicial system. It's probably why we never see it in the movies. It's probably why. You know, when you walk into a fucking crime scene with 18 lopped off heads stuck on fence posts, fucking flashlights shoved into a person's one ear and comes out the other. How do you go, Your Honor, my client is innocent? How much biological evidence is at these crime scenes as well, right? I mean, you got blood of 14 victims just mixed together in one big goo pile. All their fingernails are bent and broken off, and they've got DNA of like 80 people underneath them. I'm just trying to say, I do not envy movie police who have to go to one of these crime scenes, because it's gotta suck. For not just the police, but for lawyers, judges, the media, it's a nightmare. Anyway, that's my bizarre intrusive thought for today. So I got this DM over on my true crime TikTok page. Shameless plug, please follow, subscribe to my YouTube channel, link in bio. But it's from a guy, I'm assuming a guy, named Dog Lover, okay? Follow me back or text me. I have important things to tell you. Beautiful lady. Okay. First of all, thank you. Second of all, huh? I'm sorry, Dog Lover, but you did not offer to be my sugar daddy like all the other DMs that come from bots offer. You also did not offer to paint my profile picture because it looks so beautiful, like other DMs that I get from bots as well. Wait, are you the same guy under a different name that said I looked like Geeky Bomber? Because again, thank you. I am kind of curious about what those important things are though, so I might get back to you, Dog Lover. I just might. Are the important things, is it something to do with the Pope dying today, or? Huh. Anyway, get back to me. So I love using IMDB, the Internet Movie Database. Is anyone else out there like me that whenever you're watching a movie or a TV show, you spend like most of the time scrolling through the IMDB trivia section for that movie or TV show? Anyway, I just want to thank IMDb for this very vital piece of information, this very vital piece of trivia for the new upcoming Jurassic World Rebirth movie coming out whenever, July or whatever. Did you guys know that this is the first Jurassic World movie to not be released the same year as a Hotel Transylvania movie? Did you know that? I bet you didn't. And what do I do with this trivia? I don't know. Thank you, though. I really appreciate that because it's been on my brain for a couple of days now. I just wonder what the relevance is to that little factoid. Is this like Wikipedia, IMDb? You can answer this, you won't. But is IMDb like Wikipedia where everyone just like, they can put in their own information and then you just put it on there? Like, can I just create my own IMDb page and say, oh, Mike is a 3-time Academy Award winning actor. And then under my trivia section, it would just say, Mike was once praised by the Pope himself. So, just let me know if we're allowed to do that. I'll do it. A fat joke? Really? That's it? Please watch this video all the way through so I can get paid off this guy's comment. Thanks. As a matter of fact, I can locate a treadmill. I have one in another room in the house that's collecting dust because it doesn't get used by me on account of being fat. I have a little poem that I say to myself from time to time just to remind me who I am. Fatty, fatty, 2x4 can't fit through the kitchen door. When I walk into a room, sometimes I have to walk in sideways. It just depends on the girth of the door. I meant width. I have an exercise bike that's right next to the treadmill I don't use, but I'm afraid to sit on it because I think it might crumble under my weight. Sorry, I just got done eating a whole chicken. Bro or Brosafina, I don't know. User 78903-245. That's a really beautiful name. Does that name go back generations in your family? Or anyway, I'm the reason why sometimes planes can't take off because they're like, you gotta get off. Whenever I get into my car, the bottom of the car just scrapes along the pavement. It's a disaster. Sometimes I wonder how many McDonald's cheeseburgers I can shove down my gullet, and the answer is yes. If you haven't caught on yet, I say much, much worse things about my own self than you could ever say about me. Congratulations for having vision, and you can see when someone is chubby and fat, obese even. I got, way back in the day when Wii Sports was a thing, or a big thing, and you were able to weigh yourself. I was the person who got on the scale for the Wii Fit thing, and it responded immediately with, oh. The Wii thing was like, damn, dude. We don't even have numbers decide. I'm the real reason the Titanic sank, so sorry about that. Excuse me, my 10th Grubhub order of the day is here, so I'll be right back. Do you want to maybe, use a gay slur or something like that? If you're afraid to say it in the comments section, you can DM it to me if you want. It's up to you, It's just that fat jokes are as lazy as fat people. You know what I mean? It's tired, it's boring, it's uninspired. I've told stories over on my true crime TikTok page where people have gotten stuck in chimneys and died. I never have to worry about that because I can't fit. So, who's the winner now? One time when I was working at Wells Fargo, a customer came up to my teller station and asked me if I was Chris Farley or Chris Farley's brother. And I just said, yes, I am. Let me give you a little piece of advice, a tip. When you hate yourself enough, shit like this, it doesn't create any negative feelings. You just agree with it, you know? I am, in fact, fat.
This is a pizza.
Uh-huh.
This is a toaster.
Right, I'm on board so far. And what the
This is
fuck?
new Toaster Breaks from Hot Pockets. Toaster Breaks pizza toast up hot and crispy with real mozzarella, zesty sauce, pepperoni or sausage.
Are those pizza Pop-Tarts? Man, stop that. Ma'am, no! I was channeling my inner Mark Wahlberg from The Happening on that one. Was this a problem we were having at some point? Maybe instead of manhandling your clearly already cooked pizza into a toaster, just eat the pizza you've cooked, ma'am.
Hey,
Hi.
you know the gazelle can help your love life?
No, I didn't know how.
Oh,
I'm not
boy.
afraid now. I'm going to
Oh,
put my foot on your
no.
heel. Okay?
Oh, boy.
And we can do that. This is why I have such a great job.
Oh, Susan, run. Gazelle the fuck out of there, girl. Run.
Come on, Rob.
You got this, Rob.
You can do it.
Oh,
Pick up the
Susan,
phone.
Jesus
Your
Christ.
favorite pants are hem for heels, but you want to wear flats. How do
Sure.
you fix that?
I don't know.
Hi, I'm Lori Leland, and you are going to
Hi, Lori.
love this. It's Style Snaps from Hemming My Way, the world's first snap and hem solution.
Hemming
And
My
Style
Way.
Snaps is budget-friendly for growing kids. Now they can even share clothes. Forget crazy trips to the tailor or permanent tapes and glues.
Uh-huh.
Now you can change your hem
What?
like
Are we
you change
doing
your
that?
shoes. Order right now, and we'll double the offer.
Or just hear me out, okay? Just listen.
From Hemming My Way,
Buy shorter pants,
snap
maybe.
and hem solution.
Ouch!
Ooh.
Stubbed your toe
Ooh,
in the
I felt
middle of
that.
the night. Stumbling around in the dark is dangerous.
It is.
Don't turn on the light and wake up the whole family. Now there's
Is your
finally
light the
high-tech
sun?
house
What the
shoes
fuck?
that light up your night. The secret is Bright Feet's built-in light sensor. There's no buttons to turn on or
Get the
off.
absolute
Bright
fuck
Feet
out of
are
here.
Fully automatic. They automatically turn off when it's light.
Bitch,
or
no, they
turn on
don't.
When it's dark. They're smart,
What are those even
clever.
illuminate?
Bright Feet also have a built-in weight sensor, so they only work.
600 pounds?
Don't pay over $40
No.
for a pair of.
What does it light up? Like the 3 inches in front of your feet? I don't... What if you're like a home invasioner and you're... A home invasioner, Mike? What if you are a home intruder or a robber and you forgot that you were wearing your Bright Feets? I'm gonna steal the shit out of this house and nobody will see me. Apparently my face is at my feet, so okay.
Hi, I'm Joe Gray with the
Hi, Joe
Gojo
Gray.
hands-free. Device on Earth that's truly hands-free. The Gojo
The
goes
only
on with one
device-
hand, so you keep your eyes on the road. It is so simple.
Ooh, now scratch your bald head.
I don't have to keep my hands on my cell phone. I don't have to worry about it.
These things are not hands-free. You stick them in your ears, gross. But
They're
you still have to
headphones,
hold your
Joe.
phone.
That's it.
And yes, Gojo will hold the weight of your phone.
Good.
Even the weight of a 5-pound
Get the
Bible.
fuck out of here, Joe
Any phone,
Gray.
big or small, even
What?
the most radical
Why are
ones
you
won't knock
talking
it
on the
over.
phone while doing flips? Joe Gray, were you dropped as a baby? Look. Oh, I can stick this whole thing of jelly beans to my head. Hands free. I just don't have the device right now, so I can't demonstrate it. Are you tired of having to hold your cups? Oh, fuck. Stick it to your head with a... What the fuck was it called, Joe? A Gojo Pro? I don't know. I'm gay. Millennials and older, do you guys remember these? These Welch's jelly jars? This might be a white person thing. I'm not sure. But did any of you guys remember growing up when you were finished with the jelly in these Welch's jelly jars, you reused them as cups? Now, I specifically remember, my memory is just jogging like Flintstones and Winnie the Pooh. But you're never allowed to throw these things away because these are cups. And so we had like a whole cabinet full of jelly jars that have been cleaned out. And then we just turned them into to drinking receptacles. Was that like a poor white person thing specifically? I mean, we weren't really poor, yet we saved jelly jars to drink out of. What the fuck was wrong with us? Waste not, okay? All right? Push up my fake glasses here. Don't you dare waste those jelly jars, okay? You can use them to fill up in some Sunny D or something. Once again, my white person voice goes to a Midwesterner or something like that, you know? I don't know why. Anyway, who remembers these? You? Yes? Maybe? Okay, bye. No. No. You're the first. If you're having a bad day, I just want you to know that it can get worse. Because someone, somewhere out there, ruined their entire career and future by making a movie about a killer lamp. Someone said, hey, how about this idea? Let's say a lamp is possessed by some kind of lamp demon, and we'll slap Amityville on it and just, just cause. It's not going to take place in the house because we probably can't afford that. And probably the only thing you need to do was just unplug the lamp or remove its bulb, but nobody thought of that. So please just know that someone decided to ruin their career and their family's well-being by producing something like this. Thank you for your time, and I hope this video finds you well and that you are now having a slightly better day with this information. You're welcome. Bye. Supermassive Games, this video is for you and you alone. Unless anyone else wants to watch it as well, then you're welcome to. You are super and you are massive, and I need you to never stop making games like these ever again. As a matter of fact, I am very disappointed in you that there isn't currently, as we speak, a brand new one of these games out right now. The other day, I put up a video about one of the other Dark Pictures anthology games, The Devil in Me, which I freaking loved. And so now I just beat Little Hope. I'm pretty sure I'm playing these out of release date order, but whatever. I love these games dearly. These games to me are just so much fun. The choose your own adventure type games with horror and gore and blood and stuff. Brutal deaths. Obviously, my favorite one from Supermassive Games is definitely The Quarry. Absolutely love that game. And wait, did they also do Until Dawn? That game, Until Dawn, right? Maybe, did they do that? Yes, they did. There's also an Until Dawn movie coming out. So this particular game, called Little Hope, sees these 5 people. This guy in the middle is the professor at their college, and then the other 4 are his students. They're on some field trip type thing when their bus crashes, and they end up getting stuck in this little town. And then there's this big fog that once they walk into the fog, it turns them around and it goes right back to where they were. It's kind of like how that show From, right, is on a loop. Anytime they try to leave the town, it goes right back to the beginning. And the biggest name in this one, oh shit. I just said the biggest name, and I don't remember his name. Will, this is embarrassing. Okay, not so big of a name. Poulter, William Poulter? Yes, Will Poulter. He plays this guy right there. But basically, weird shit starts happening to them. They start seeing these little visions of this little girl, but then they're seeing visions of another girl who looks just like her, but appears to be in olden times. Then they also start to see themselves. They see their doubles from olden times, and specifically during the witch trials. And they're just kind of trying to figure out what the fudge is going on and trying to get out of this town, Little Hope. And they have little hope to do so. Stupid. But yeah, it's one of those things where everything you do, every choice you make will affect the next scene of the game. And you can either kill characters throughout the game, have them all survive, maybe have only one of them live. So that gives these types of games like Little Hope a lot of replayability. Now, I didn't like this one as much as The Devil in Me because really this game is just them walking down one really long road. And they didn't walk as fast as I wanted them to. Put in sprinting, please, next time. Thanks. It's the next one in space, I think. I'm off topic. So yeah, the whole walking down this, foggy road got a little monotonous. But that being said, I actually really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the little twist at the end. And I will certainly play this one again, just like I've played The Quarry 3 or 4 times. I'll play The Devil in Me again. And that's when you know you got a good game, when you can replay these and have a completely different outcome. So yeah, Little Hope. I enjoyed it. If you didn't, that's okay. Anyway. Okay, good night. Let's tell a joke with an impression, if I can, okay? So the way this game Live, Laugh, Lose works is you have a joke card, and then it tells you how to deliver that joke. So I'm going to choose random ones. Okay, I'm reaching in, going to grab random delivery card and random joke card. Okay, so I have to read this joke in a Valley Girl voice. Dear Jesus. Like, oh, I was Dumbo sad because he felt irrelevant. Boom. All right, let's choose another one. Okay, so we have the joke card, and then we've got the delivery card. Okay, here we go. Oh, God. Read the joke in a French accent. I'm so sorry to those of you in France. You know what really bugs me? That was not at all French. Oui, oui, ha, ha. You know what really bugs me? That still isn't it. Parlez-vous français? Parlez-vous français? You know what really bugs me? I keep going into that other voice. You know what really bugs me? I can't do it. I can't do this. It's like another fucking delivery card. Yeah, it's gonna be bad too. Read the joke like Barack Obama. America, you know what really bugs me? Puns about insects. America. Puns about accents. I'm sorry. This movie is like Phone Booth, but like Phone Booth on wheels, and it's called Locked. And it stars Bill Skarsgård. He is a down-on-his-luck thief who kind of has this cliched storyline of like he's separated from his wife or his girlfriend, but he's desperate to be a good father to his daughter, but he lives this life of crime, and so, you know, the two don't mix. So his character ends up breaking into this little SUV that he found in a parking lot, and he realizes fairly quickly he fucked with the wrong car, because now it's a death box. He's trapped. The windows are like shattered and bulletproof. He can't open the doors. And then somebody calls the car. And the voice on the phone call is played by Sir Anthony Hopkins. It's his car. And so basically, he's kind of like your antagonist of the movie. He is like a vigilante, if you will, wanting to seek revenge on people who have constantly tried breaking into his vehicles. Now, for the most part, his performance is just a voice on a phone call. He's not physically seen in the movie until pretty much the final act of the movie. But he is delightful as always. Bill Skarsgård is absolutely fantastic. I feel like he's really underrated as an actual actor. He is, I think, always very reliable. And he's basically pulling off his best Pete Davidson impression. So I think for the most part, and this, by the way, this is on Prime Video on Amazon. You have to rent it or buy it. But I thought for the most part, this was a pretty decent movie. I liked the concept, even though it's not incredibly original. Like I said, it kind of reminded me of Phone Booth. It's basically almost like a single location movie, because the entire core, the heart of the movie takes place within the car, as Bill is desperately trying to find a way to get out. He even drinks his own pee at one point. But this is kind of my gripe, though. So this is an hour and 30 minutes long, but it felt a lot longer. And usually that's a sign of a not great movie. Just like when you're watching a really long movie, but it felt like it just whizzed on by, that's a sign that you just watched a good movie. I feel like they stretched this out too much. It was slow paced, which isn't always bad. I just feel like they kind of included a lot of just like useless filler. Maybe they dragged out the concept perhaps a little too long. But I still thought this was a really well-made movie. It looked great, it sounded great. You got two very good performances. It's a movie that definitely has some decent tension. It's not like a scary movie, at least I don't think it is. But yeah, I mean, good movie, just sort of weighed down by being a little too long, even though it's only an hour and a half long. But, you know, it was a pretty decent movie. It was, for the most part, pretty entertaining, but there was nothing like super special about it. Nothing different, nothing unique. I guess I would just say it was very meh, you know? That's my star rating right there. Meh, you know? So hopefully you know what that means. So this individual here sent me a DM. Just a small, tiny, little bitty sentence. 1, the F slur for gay people, because I'm gay, and KYS. That means kill yourself. Now, I've already blocked this person so that when I post this video, they won't be able to see it easily, at least. But obviously, I would report this to TikTok, knowing full well they would say, oh my god, yeah, we don't allow that. Except, no violations found. We found that Masha's direct messages don't violate our community guidelines. We understand that you may not want to see this type of content, and you have the option to block their account. Thank you, TikTok. Thank you so much. I have to black out the word because I know if I show that word in a video, TikTok would remove this video for hate speech or whatever reason they want to choose. Isn't that hilarious, TikTok? Isn't that so funny how that would work? Now, what if, TikTok, what if I was someone who was clearly on the edge, just need that one last thing to push me over and do what he's telling me to do? I'm not, don't worry. But what if I was somebody else who was? That was it for them. They did, and they ended up doing that. Would you wipe your hands of it, TikTok, or asking for a friend? It's just hilarious that I have to black out the word. Word you say doesn't violate guidelines, yet if I show it, it would violate them. You know? Anyway, keep doing you, TikTok, I guess. Keep doing you. Boo. Okay, question for baseball fans. I'm watching the Padre game, right? They're playing the Guardians currently. Been watching baseball pretty much my entire life. Does anyone else like me who cannot tell a difference between any pitch that is thrown? Oh, that's a fastball. No, that's a four-seam fastball. No, that's a changeup. That's a curveball. It's a slider. It's a sweeper. That was a knuckle curve. That was a two-seamer. How the fuck can you tell that? Every pitch literally looks the same to me. Is that racist?
Oh, she wouldn't come over right. Yeah.
No. Like, I can see what a ball like maybe has like a little curve to it, but it just looks the same to me. And when a pitcher balks, how do these people see that? He moved his toe half a centimeter. That's a balk. Runner, go to second base. Also, what happens if an umpire sneezes during a pitch? Brad Pitt wants to know as well. What if right when the pitch is, being caught, what if the umpire sneezes and he didn't see it? Does he make it up? Is he like, oh, streak? Anyway, get back to me. What's a mobile game that you are obsessed with? This one's mine. It's called Two Dots, okay? Two Dots. I cannot stop. I play this at least once or twice a day, and each time it's like for 2 hours. And it frustrates the living shit out of me, but I love it. So basically it consists of, I'm on level 6,884 to give you an example of how long I've been playing this. And there have been sometimes a certain level, that I haven't been able to beat for like 2 or 3 straight days. But you are basically given 5 lives, and every time you fail a level, you lose a life, and then eventually you lose all 5 lives, then you have to wait for those lives to be refilled. It's like every 20 minutes you get a life back. But really, it's kind of like, at its heart, is really just a game of connecting, connecting the same colored dots. The empty dots, or whatever color basically you need it to be. But it's not just that, like, you have like certain things, like these things right here are like little ice blocks that every time you connect the 2 dots next to the ice block, it shatters. And then the same thing with like these ones that have like that clear cover over them. Then you got these little mushrooms that when you hit them, they will like explode and like shoot another dot. And there's a whole bunch of other like specialized things like this to make it interesting. It's not just literally you connecting the same color dots and that's it. There's other parts involved. And I am obsessed with it. And I don't know why. It's just one of those great little time killer type games where it keeps you nice and distracted. But in recent levels, like once you get to like the 4,000 or 5,000, level area, and I've read people talk about this, so it's not just me. The levels have become fucking impossible. For a long time, you can beat a level within 1 or 2 tries, but sometimes it takes 5 to 20 to 30 to 40 attempts at the same level to beat it. And I think that's because they make it impossible to beat unless you buy their little packages. Like you can buy these packages that have like certain things that they're like little perks that you can use to shatter dots or whatever shatter glass things without having to use up one of your moves. Oh yeah, each level you have a certain amount of moves to beat the level. If you don't do it in that time frame, that level frame, then you lose the round. Anyway, it's just, there's a lot of stuff to it. It's so addictive. I must have been playing this game for at least every day for the past 3 years. Not even kidding. So yeah, it's called Two Dots. This is not a paid sponsorships at all. I just thought, you know what? Let's share a mobile game. What's your favorite mobile game that you play if you have one? All right, there you go. So earlier I showed a clip from the TV show Deadwood, and I wanted to share another one of my favorite scenes from the show. So this is Ian McShane. He played the character of Al Swearengen. Fucking masterful performance this guy gave. You know, he's like sort of at times a villain. He's ruthless, he's cutthroat, he's scary. But then sometimes you see like glimmers of kindness within him, or just moments like this. So this is from an episode where Deadwood is doing like a talent show type thing. And so Al Swearengen's saloon is, there's no one in it. And so he sings a little ditty, kind of just to himself. And this is how the episode ends. It's like a poem or a song called The Unfortunate Rake. This is it. I don't know. I just thought this was such a sweet kind of moment from Al Swearengen.
I was walking down by St. James Hospital. As I was walking down by there one day, who should I spy but one of my comrades, all wrapped up in flannel green was the day. I asked him what ailed him, I asked him what failed him, I asked him the cause of all his complaint. 'Twas all on account of some handsome young woman. 'Tis the reason why I weep and lament. If she had but told me before she deserted me, if she had but told me of it in time, I might have got pills and salts of white mercury, but now I'm cut down in the height of my prime. Get 6 young soldiers to carry my coffin, and 6 young girls to sing me a song, and let each of them bear a bunch of green laurel, so they don't have to smell me as they bear me along. So don't muffle your drums and play your fifes merrily, and play a quick march as you carry me along, and blaze your bright muskets all over my coffin, saying, there goes an unfortunate lad to his home.
How come every movie couple has a cabin? You ever notice that? Every movie couple of every movie, they have a cabin that they can just go to whenever they want. Hey, sweetie, I was thinking about taking the weekend and just going up to the cabin and relaxing. Or maybe it's like you're having a rough time. Why don't we take the summer off of work and we'll go up to our summer cabin? Sometimes, if they're really fancy, they just have a whole other house. Let's take the kids for the winter. We'll go down to our winter home. Sugar Pie, I think it's time we have a romantic getaway. So let's collect all of our wine from our wine cellar that we have here in our first home. And let's just go to the lake house for an indefinite amount of time. And then we can, take our mini yacht out onto the lake. What do you say? Meanwhile, here in the real world, I'm buying Kroger brand version top ramen because I can't afford the extra 3 cents for the real shit. The fucking nerve these not real people have. The audacity of these fictional people to rub it in our faces how rich they are in a not real world. Jesus. Do you all remember that in movies like this, there was always like that end narration by like the lead character who then says what each of them went on to do in their adult lives? How come there was always like at least one really sad outcome? Like the others went on to have great lives, but there's like 1 or 2 that always had like some really sad. Can we just have a happy ending?
Billy would later graduate high school, he would lose a lot of weight, and then he would become married to a really beautiful supermodel. Johnny would graduate high school at the top of our class, he got a baseball scholarship and played 11 very successful seasons with the Cincinnati Reds. Jimbo would go on to earn his degree in engineering and would marry after college, where he and his wife had 2 children. But sadly, one Christmas Eve night, 3 men broke into Jimbo's home, where he and his wife were tied up as they burgled their home. Thankfully, the 2 children were with their grandparents that night. The home intruders then forced Jimbo to watch as they slowly tortured and murdered his wife. Jimbo was then shot 16 times in his nose. Later, it was determined that the intruders broke into the wrong home. It was supposed to be the neighbor's house, so Jimbo and his wife died because of mistaken identity. As for me, I struggled in college and eventually dropped out. I took to a life of crime and became a very successful home intruder along with my 2 friends who I met in jail. But all of that ended one cold December night when our boss instructed us to rob a house, but I thought the address was 645 Maple Street, but it turned out it was actually supposed to be 647 Maple Street. So we broke into the wrong house and eventually tortured and killed the 2 people inside because we couldn't have them ratting us out to police. But my two partners were captured fairly quickly and gave my name to police. I managed to escape to Costa Rica and got facial reconstruction surgery. I am recording this very audio on my computer and somehow the FBI found it and traced my location. I was arrested with incident. We got into a massive gunfight where I was shot in the shoulder, but not before I took out 4 FBI agents. But it would end in me being captured and going on trial for my many murders and was convicted and sentenced to death. During my execution, the guy missed my veins 2 times and finally used the other arm to hook me up. The chemicals were injected, but they messed up the concoction, and because of that, I was in excruciating pain for 32 very long minutes before I finally died from the injection. Now I'm living my life in a tall apartment building in hell, which is actually located in Florida, and I have absolutely no idea how you are even hearing this.
Hey, in movie news, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is getting a sequel. The 2019 Quentin Tarantino movie starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, which was nominated for 10 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Director, Screenplay, and it won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for Brad Pitt. They announced on April Fool's Day that they were getting a sequel, but this is actually a real story. However, Quentin Tarantino will not be directing this film. David Fincher is lined up to direct it, but Quentin Tarantino will be writing it. And he is a phenomenal screenwriter. One of my absolute favorite. Brad Pitt will be reprising his role. I don't think they've announced yet if Leonardo DiCaprio is coming back or not. I imagine he probably would, but I don't know. And it will be a Netflix movie, so I guess it won't be a theatrical release. Hey, and also, John Wick 5 is happening. And yes, Keanu Reeves will be reprising his role. This was also announced on April Fool's Day, but this too is a real story. I just recently, within the past year or so, watched the first 4 John Wick movies, because I had never seen them before, but they're fucking awesome movies. Like these are badass. Keanu Reeves is fantastic as John Wick. I'm a little curious as to how they're going to be bringing him back in for the 5th one, but who cares? He's coming back, so I guess there's a spin-off movie called Ballerina also coming out in the John Wick universe. And then finally, in sad news, actor Val Kilmer has passed away. Saw movies like Top Gun, and he was in Tombstone, Batman Forever, and from what I understand, he actually died of pneumonia. He had been battling some health issues, including throat cancer, for the better part of the past decade. I want to say that that Top Gun Maverick was his final appearance in a movie, but I'm not positive. But rest in peace to Val Kilmer. Big guy in the 80s and in the 90s especially. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I guess I can see this. I can see it for sure, yeah. Side by side. Am I doing it? I made a shot or something. What? But actually, I'm probably more well-known outside of being Keke Palmer. I am more known for some of my other, more subtle performances throughout film and television. When I was Jabba the Hutt, they made me lose a few pounds because I was too big. But I did it because it was like the job of a lifetime. Or something. I got this big because I used to eat cats. There, of course, was that time where I played Peter Griffin. They had to add on the chin balls to my chin, though, because I didn't have chin balls. But I am gay, so sometimes... Never mind. McDonald's hired me many years ago to be Grimace, so I was the original. But again, I got too fat because I ate too many double cheeseburgers. Then maybe don't pay me in double cheeseburgers, McDonald's. And I wouldn't have gotten so fat to not be Grimace anymore. Jesus. There was also the... I think it's because that's when I was younger, I probably looked just like him. There was that time where I played Chunk in The Goonies, despite it coming out the year I was born. Time travel and stuff, it's fine. Fat people can do it. Our fat makes us be able to move in time freely. But do not ask me. Do not dare ask me to do the truffle shuffle unless you're going to pay me at least $3,000. All right, sugar daddies? Sometimes I moonlight as Uranus. Uranus? You say Uranus, I say Uranus. But then I got too fat, so space had to put that fucking belt around me. It was embarrassing. Perhaps my most infamous moment in entertainment history was when I sang the national anthem at a Padres game. So, I'm going to try to recreate that for you. Unhinge my jaw. Oh, but... But of course, you all know, I mean, the secret was out a while ago. I was Cam from Modern Family. We were trying to hide that from you all, but you guys are too smart. You caught on. So, anyway, okay. Place your finger, okay, Why? You're gonna take my fingerprints and plant them at a crime scene? Okay, I'll play your game. Thumb, finger, let's do finger. I don't fucking know. It's reading it, you guys. It knows I'm American by my fingerprints. That's really stupid. Okay, well, that was a waste of my time and yours. Obviously, it's just probably using where I'm at in my bio, my IP address or some shit. I don't know. It's just the app knows it didn't read my fingerprints, you guys. It does not read your fingerprints. That's impossible. Or is it? Can your fingerprints be American? Can your fingerprints tell, like, if you're American, if you're German, Canadian? Can it? I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm an American with American fingerprints, I guess. So. Okay, well, this was a waste of everyone's time. Goodbye. Hey, getting your neck snapped, it ain't all that bad, okay? So I'm watching this movie on Prime Video called Dark Windows, and of course I'm reading all the IMDB stuff I can on it. Spoiler alert, okay? Spoiler alert. But under these spoilers, under like the violence and gore section, a woman's neck is snapped by the killer, but isn't as disturbing as you would think. Pussy. I just imagine they wanted to write the word pussy, but were told not to. Not all neck snapping is bad. IMDB, are you gaslighting us? If you guys thought this particular neck snapping was disturbing, that's on you, not on us, okay? You chicken shits. I feel hurt by you, IMDB. I feel hurt. But then I watched the scene where it all happened, and I'm like, you know what? Of all the neck snapping, that's probably the least disturbing of all neck snappings I've seen. And now I owe a posthumous apology to IMDB. You're right. It wasn't as disturbing as I thought. You prepared me, you told me, you warned me. I didn't believe. In IMDb gods, we trust. Thank you. Obese woman with 5 lovers ordered them to abduct and torture 6th man who displeased her. I'm sorry. As one obese person, what does that have to do with what she did? I'm sorry. Why did you have to throw in the word obese? I don't get it. Did she convince these lovers by throwing her weight around? Okay, who are these lovers? We got a sneak peek of some of them. What's going on here, ma'am? You have a type, that's for sure. Is that Charles Manson there? Are these lovers or is this a cult? Okay, the guy with the cheese on his head is really distracting. These all look like the worst of Kroger brand versions of someone trying to cosplay as Jesus. I feel like this guy right here is the odd man out. I don't know, there's just something like, what is happening up top? What is this right here? This little, I mean, he's got one strip of hair. The rest is, I don't know. Mike, shut up. You're fat and ugly. Don't judge people. You know what? I can because I am fat and ugly. Okay, this must have been in, I'm going to guess, Ohio. Yep, I'm right. The article starts with... Jesus Christ. Daily Mail, you're a bunch of dicks. The article starts, an obese Ohio woman with 5 lovers. They did this to, as revenge in a shocking kidnapping case. 28-year-old Martina Jones and her husband, Michael Esqueda, and boyfriends Aaron Bradshaw, Austin Bradshaw. Are they brothers? Oh, you gross, girl. David Cessna and Chance Johnston are facing multiple serious charges over the kidnapping. Jones is said to be in a polygamous relationship, okay, and shared, and I can't get one guy, and shared multiple children with a group of men. Well, this sounds like a fun household for Christmas, huh? The 26-year-old kidnapped victim, who was kidnapped on March 14th and held against his will for over a week at a Red Roof Inn. He was brutally beaten with a baseball bat, forced to stand for extended periods, and given food and water just once daily. Okay, so these guys are a bunch of fucking asshole monsters. He was being tortured, assaulted over the time frame of a week. Luckily, this man survived. Actually released him on a promise that he goes to a nearby Speedway convenience store and come back. Wow, they're good at this, huh? And so, God, this is a worse version of those. That looks like the fucking ghost of an alien. Aw, he just looks happy to be there. Anyway, the sickly six here each have a bond set at $200,000. They probably have from their potential meth lab. All indicted by a grand jury on account of kidnapping, 3 counts of felonious assault, and 2 counts of tampering with evidence. All of this because she's obese. Play dead. No, you play dead, bitch. What? I don't know. This is a horror film. I know, a horror movie. I never watched those ever in my life. This is the first one I've ever seen ever. I watched it. It's called Play Dead. It's got Jerry O'Connell. Came out in 2023. It's an hour and 46 minutes long. It's a horror film. Chloe breaks into a morgue and finds that the coroner is involved in a twisted business. Oh, say it ain't so. Very minimal people, very minimal amount of people saw this movie, or reviewed it at least. So yeah, basically her brother is involved in a situation, a robbery gone wrong, in which the entire robbery was planned on their phones, which means there is a written trail. But in this robbery gone wrong, one of the other people, who also just happened to be her ex-boyfriend, dies. When she finds out that the cell phone that had all this planning on it is going to be on the dead boyfriend's person at the morgue, she says, okay, I'll break into the morgue and get the cell phone. Are you with me so far? Because I'm not. Now, surely you can just pick a lock, go in there when no one's in the morgue and just take the cell phone. No, we can't do that. What she has to do instead is give herself an overdose of something so that she is dead. She makes her brother wait 30 minutes to call 911 because her body needs to be cold so they don't try to revive her. I'm pretty sure they're going to anyway. That way, they'll take her body to the morgue and then she'll come to somehow, I guess. I don't understand how. And she'll be able to freely walk around and get that cell phone. But, no, there's problems in this plot. If there isn't a whole bunch already. Apparently, the guy at the morgue, Jerry O'Connell, well, he's just there at all times. And so now she's in this cat and mouse game to, not have him find her. But then eventually he realizes she's in there. Certain dead people aren't actually dead. Again, what? Then he captures her and he's gonna kill her and oh boy, this movie's a lot. The idea could have been great, and I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, this isn't realistic. Obviously this movie isn't realistic, but her plan was just so much. I don't understand injecting yourself with chemicals to end your life and then to be dead, to then get called. There's got to be easier ways to get into a morgue. There's got to be. Also, even if you take the cell phone with this planned, robbery stuff on it, the cell phone companies, the providers, they're gonna have those texts. They're gonna have access to it, whether or not they have the cell phone or not. You see that, this whole thing was just, I don't need it to be believable, but I need it to be not stupid. And this was stupid. You could have done something really good with this premise of getting yourself into a morgue for some reason, and then you uncover this horrible thing going on, with the morgue and the mortician guy. But they overdid everything. It was just too much. Jerry O'Connell plays a very good creep, a very good bad guy, if you will. It's not like a horribly made movie. It just wasn't. I did not personally, I've been drinking too much embalming fluid, you know what I mean? It's just too much stuff, too much going on. The plan was ridiculous. All of it was just not, I don't know. It wasn't for me. I would rather be dead than play dead. What? No. I would rather be dead than watch play. No. I would rather be alive, but I don't know what I'm saying anymore at this point. This movie has me kerfuffled. Anyway, I give it 3 out of 10. Have you seen it? Do you like it? I saw it on Amazon Prime. I think it's through Shudder, of course. So, there you go. Hey, in a Major League Baseball game, what happens when a player needs to drop a load off from his dumper? He needs to take a poop, right? What if it's diarrhea? What happens? What if it is sudden onset, liquid, juicy poo boiling in his stomach and he needs to release it right then and there? What do you do? Maybe it happens while you're playing defense, right? Let's say it's Manny Machado for the Padres at third base, right? He realizes then, oh my God, I gotta poo. They finally get out of the inning and he rushes to the dugout and says, hey guys, please be patient with this pitcher. Please do not make this a quick inning. But then his teammates are dicks and they end up going 1, 2, 3 by swinging at the first pitch, and it's like 3 outs within like 2 minutes. But Manny Machado's still in the bathroom taking a big dump. What happens? Like, he's unleashing all the fire from the dragon because he decided to eat some really spicy food just like minutes before the game. Which, hey, that's a bad decision on your end. But what happens? What do they do? Does he like turn the diarrhea off like it's a fucking faucet? Mid-stream? Mid-poop stream? And then he runs out of the bathroom onto the field, clutching his butt cheeks like a cartoon villain with like one of those little hoppy runs. What if it's a long inning and they're playing defense? He's at third base. He goes, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. This has to come out of me now. Does he just do it? Does he just diarrhea in his pants and hope to God you're on a team that wears dark colored pants? Odds are you're wearing white colored pants. So if he diarrheas right then and there on the field, does he like pretend like I fell on the ground, oh, my butt's running all over the ground, to like put dirt on his butt to make it look like it's just dirt and not liquid poo? Or do they like fake an injury? So like, oh, he's got to come off the field because he got hurt, but he didn't. But then you got to continue with the lie and put him on like the 15-day IL because he said, oh, he bruised a toe or some shit. But the reality is he just couldn't hold a poo and he had to be pulled out of the game for that reason. But it's too embarrassing to admit that he pooed himself on the field. So now you got to make up this whole injury. Anyway, if you can get back to me, that would be great. Have you ever been penetrated in your nose before? Violated nasally, if you will? Because I have. Have you ever heard of a Rhino rocket? Well, I hadn't. Not until the day it happened. The day of the bleeding. One day, I got a very random nosebleed in my right nostril. It wouldn't stop. It was so bad I had to get a big cup underneath my nose so the blood can drain into it. I filled that entire cup. So I said, hey, this isn't normal. So I went to the emergency room. The doctor was like, hey, we're going to try something, but we're not going to fucking tell you what it is, bitch. And basically he was like, hey, look over there, pretty shiny colors. And I was like, okay. And that's when it happened. This man, this doctor, took what looked like a tampon, shoved it up my nostril, and I'm pretty sure it touched my brain. He then took a little needle and he injected air into it to blow the thing up in my nose whilst it was in my nasal cavity thing place. Hey, doctor, at least buy me dinner first, right? Jesus. I was like, what the hell, dude? He's like, yeah, we don't usually tell people what we're about to do because they're gonna fight back. Yeah, no shit, we're gonna fight back. Bitch. Then he taped the thing to the side of my face. It looked like I was cosplaying as a Kroger brand version of a Dune character. And he said, all right, just leave that on there, okay? And I said, oh, okay. For what? How many hours do I leave it in there? He's like, no, not hours. Days. And I said, fucking guy, what do you mean, days? He said, I shit you not, bare minimum, 2 full days, if not 4. And I said, no, I can't do that. I'm a teller at Wells Fargo Bank. I am going to scare customers out of the building. Because if they see this shit taped to a teller's face, would you trust a person like this with your money? I wouldn't. Because, hey, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? He's got tubes coming out of his nose, and the tubes are taped to his face. I had to call off of work for 3 days. And when I finally took this thing out, it felt like a mile-long thing. I'm like, does it end? Does this shit ever have an end? Because it's just a big, goopy trail of, like, blood and dried blood. I looked like a fucking monster. I looked like someone who cuts people's noses off and eats them like cereal. I looked like someone who, maybe on a first date, would slap on some gloves and ask the question casually, hey, have you ever been dismembered before? That's what I looked like to people. Anyway, moral of the story is if you're going to get penetrated, I don't recommend the nose. Because it's a no reward situation. Okay. So this is really painful to do. I forgot that I had a bunch of these little meals because Roxy at the end was having a really hard time eating solid food. So I got her these little meals because she ate them a lot better. And she knew when they were coming. She could see me doing it. She would sit down and patiently wait, and she would bark. She would say, please. And I just saw them. It's the little things that really fuck you up. So, yeah. So in honor for Roxy, we are going to give them her food things. All right. The big guys got theirs. Now the little dogs are having theirs. Damn. You ate that fast. Okay, sharing is caring. My life and my soul feel completely empty without her. I fucking still hate this. A horror movie that takes place at an old folks' home. That is definitely different. I just watched this movie called The Rule of Jenny Penn. I watched it through the Shudder add-on on Prime Video. I didn't watch a trailer for it. I just saw it pop up as a recommendation. I saw that it was a horror movie, so I just pressed play. So it's rated R. It's an hour and 43 minutes long. Arrogant judge Stephen Mortensen suffers a near-fatal stroke, leaving him partially paralyzed and confined to a retirement home. Resistant to the staff and distant from his friendly roommates, Mortensen soon clashes with seemingly gentle resident Dave Creeley, who secretly terrorizes the home with a sadistic game called The Rule of Jenny Penn, while wielding his dementia doll as an instrument of cruelty. The movie stars John Lithgow as the villain and Jeffrey Rush as, I guess, the hero of the story. The good guy, if you will. Even though he's kind of, well, like the description said, an arrogant prick. This character, however, fucking hated him. This guy was a fucking crockpot full of dicks, which is a testament to John Lithgow's performance. He was creepy, he was evil, he was sinister, he was fantastic. One of the craziest John Lithgow performances I've ever seen. Dude was a menace. And Jeffrey Rush, also very good. Performances in this movie, all across the board, very good. It's a slow-paced movie. It unwinds very slow, very methodical, if you will. It's got some cool visuals kind of peppered in. But this movie relies on a movie trope that I've talked about before that I cannot stand. The whole trope of nobody believes the good guy and everyone believes the bad guy. I mean, this guy's going around tormenting literally all of the patients. He's a patient himself. He fucking murders 2 people. Somehow, this place doesn't have cameras, I guess. Jeffrey Rush is like, I'm trying to tell you guys, he's bad. But the whole staff is like, you're crazy. He's a gentle, harmless guy. Despite him literally looking evil all the time. I hate it. I cannot stand that shit. It is such an overused trope that they just really need to stop fucking doing. Because in this case, it is more than obvious that this guy is creating hell on earth in this place. And the entire staff is like, what? Like basically villainizing him and propping him up as like a good guy hero. And anyway, it really pulled it away from me personally because I hate that kind of thing so much. Outside of that, this is a very well-made movie. It looks fantastic, very atmospheric, it's dark. I don't mind the slow pacing. I don't mind this is more of a psychological horror, not like a scare a minute type horror or anything. There's not much blood and gore at all. There is a little bit too much John Lithgow ass for my personal liking, but if this movie didn't have a really strong performance from John Lithgow and a very good one from Jeffrey Rush, I probably would have rated this a little bit lower, just because I'm gonna forget about this movie. It was not all that memorable. It was good. Don't get me wrong. This was a good movie. It was well made, but it's not memorable good. It's very decent good. So I'd give it maybe a 6 out of 10. I don't know. Have you guys seen it? What do you think? Ew. Okay. What the hell? Now who's this chick? Yeah, put more shit on the walls. Oh no. Okay, that was ominous. Aw, pretty day. Oh, shit, bad case of diarrhea. Ouch! The fuck is happening? Aw, our little whatever animal. Severed wieners. Oh shit. Tree of life is dying. Are you still brushing your fucking hair? The fuck you looking at? That's right. Aw, poor gerbil. He's okay. Do it. Do it, bitch. Idiot. Oh, a moon. Oh, no. Okay. Anyway, you're next. You're welcome. When the fuck did I get a real phone? Anyway, we're gonna let that go to voicemail. So, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever cursed tape. bounces off of you and... Wait, no. Bounces... Whatever cursed tape bounces off of me, because you're... Wait, no, you're rubber, I'm glue. We're both dead. Sorry. Do you think Pyramid Head's a top? God, that would be painful. Anyway, that's it. Bye! Oh wait, no, I have... Okay. I just recently beat this game as well, Silent Hill 2. This is the remake. This was released not too long ago in 2024. It's the remake of the 2001 version, Silent Hill 2. Like, I know I played this game a hell of a long time ago, but I really didn't remember it. And so playing it now was like almost like I've never played it before. And you can see, I mean, they really stepped up the graphics between the 2024 version, obviously, and 2001. It's a much cleaner look. They did a really fantastic job of remaking it. And the game itself is a lot of fun. I think I beat it in like, I don't know, 15 or so hours. I'm also like a person who has to explore every nook and cranny of everything. But yeah, no, I really like this version of it. It was a lot of fun. I will admit, it got me to jump on more than one occasion, which is not nice. Don't do that again. Okay? Anyway. It's got our old buddy Pyramid Head, and this guy, I remember back in the day, used to scare the fucking piss out of me. And honestly, whenever he popped up in the game on this version, my heart started racing. I'm like, I don't know what I can't be near him. I was like, he's just, I don't like it. I don't trust it. I don't trust people who wear big giant metal pyramids on their head. Maybe that's just me. But I beat it. I beat this motherfucker, bitch. And it was just a blast. Like, I was really hooked on this game. There was never a point where I'm like, ugh, I gotta stop playing. I always am like, oh man, I gotta stop playing to like go do life stuff. Damn it. So if you are a fan of the original, I would highly recommend this remake. It's a good game. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. Can we please stop with the extreme baseball stats? Pretty please? I feel like I have to go to Harvard in order to legally understand all of these stats now. Yeah, I'm a Padres fan, 15-4, whatever. Now, here's an interesting stat here, Bob. This guy's OPS ZRQ squared, 13.16. I know, crazy. Fly ball to left field, and it's a home run! And for the first time in Major League Baseball history, someone has hit a home run to left field during a blood moon. This pitcher's XR13s is at a league low A1B6. It's unheard of. It's unheard of, Bob. For the first time in Major League Baseball history, second baseman Jojo Pantaloons is the very first player in the history of the game, and the history of the game is a long time, have hit a single and two doubles in the same game before 2:23 p.m. on a Thursday. Now, there are a lot of players who have done two singles and a double, but this has never happened before. Two doubles and a single? Smacked into right field, that's a base hit. And with that single, he just became only the 12th person in the history of baseball to have the last name beginning with VA hit a single on a Tuesday. And that's great and all, but his BAIPCs, it's an all-time low. Worst he has ever been with that stat. But his X lowercase r capital C2s is hitting 315. So what can be better than that? And that's a home run to center field. Let me get out my protractor real quick. Calculator in some paper. Bear with me a second here. Okay, that's a launch angle of 27.36 degrees. And it was hit off of his bat at 102 miles per hour. Has that ever happened before? Probably. Batting average, okay, batted balls in play compared to batted balls not in play. 125 versus 416. Whoa. I mean, that's just a few examples of real stats. You know, one time there's a guy, I think his name is Bob Nightingale, right? He's some like columnist or sports writer. This motherfucker one time said, if you take out this pitcher's start against the San Diego Padres, his ERA would be below 3. If you take out that first start against the Padres. This is a real thing. Okay, Bob. Yeah, okay, so with that logic, you know what? If you take away all of the outs that Tony Gwynn ever got, then he'd bat 1,000 for his career. Holy shit. Matter of fact, if you take away all the losses this team had this year, they were undefeated. Went 21-0. Reality, Bob. Speaking realities. This guy is a bona fide whack job. His Kachoo has gone straight up cuckoo. But you know what? Look at him. He's kind of happy. You know what they say, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, so. This fella here, who looks like he probably drinks his liquids from a septic tank, well, his name is The Collector. There's 2 movies. Never heard of them until someone mentioned it in the comment section, and I saw we can watch them both for free on Prime Video. You got The Collector, that's number 1, and The Collection, that's number 2. I really love the creativity with the name change. These movies are kind of like a Saw movie mixed with maybe Die Hard. Like, legit. Die Hard. This is Josh Stewart. He is the protagonist of both films. Protagonist. That means good guy, Lithuanian. I don't think that's right. I don't know what it is, but he just looks like he has permanent drunk face. He does have a really soothing, charming little accent. And he's kind of handsome. Anyway, get back on track, Mike. So the first movie sees the protagonist, Josh Stewart, breaking into a home in order to get some money to basically support his family. But the same night he decides to break into that house, so is this guy, the collector. They really should have checked each other's calendars to know who would have been in the house this time. Live and learn. And then the collection is basically Josh Stewart has been held captive by this dude. He then escapes, and he is then asked by a group of people to come in and save a person's daughter who's now been kidnapped by the collector. God, just look at him. God, he's just so happy. These are very gory movies, very bloody. Like, people explode in these movies. You get a boot kick to the head, boom, your head's exploded like a watermelon. A dog bites you in the ankle, boom, your whole body explodes. This guy he really just loves setting up booby traps. And I just like saying booby traps. I don't know how he manages to do it. He sets up an entire house and everything with just an array of extravagant, extensive, insane traps. Got wires fucking going up to the attic, down to the basement, fucking zip lines and shit with like battle axes and swords, jaws of life, sharks probably. He just has so much fun setting it up. And how can you be mad at that? Look at him. You also never really ever find out exactly who this man is behind the mask. And sometimes in movies like this, you don't have to. It actually makes it creepier when you don't know who they are or what their motives are. I think he just likes to watch people explode. Who wouldn't? Are they good movies? I mean, I think they're entertaining. Would I call them necessarily good movies? I mean, probably not. But not every movie you see has to be like good or a great movie. It just needs to entertain you. And I think that's kind of what these movies do. Both movies definitely kept my attention. They were both pretty fast-paced. They're both short movies. And side note, whoever came up with the poster designs for these movies, well, give them a raise for originality. Okay, it's basically the same poster with different colors, but that's okay. Would I recommend these to people who like horror movies and slasher movies and gore fests? I would. I think they're pretty fun. So there you go. The Deep House is an interesting little horror movie that I watched yesterday. Have you heard of this one before? Hey, how you doing? Okay. It came out back in 2021. It's an hour and 25 minutes long. It's a horror movie. Deep below the surface of a seemingly tranquil, remote lake lies a perfectly preserved family home. When a young influencer couple sets out to explore the submerged house to capture uncharted content for their social media followers, their dive turns into a nightmare as they discover a sinister presence. With limited oxygen supply and a time running against them, the couple must find a way to escape the underwater house of horrors before it's too late. So it is technically it's a French film, but it is in English. I liked the concept of this movie. The whole idea of being trapped underwater, like just in other movies where they're just trying to get out of being trapped or there's sharks chasing them or something. Usually underwater movies they have a very claustrophobic feel to them, which, you know, I hate, but also love when watching a movie because I find that kind of stuff to be the most terrifying. But now you add in a new element to this. They're stuck underwater, but they're in basically, well, really it's a haunted house deep at the bottom. And they end up getting stuck in there because the house has some sort of power or something, and they see dead bodies down there, and it's different. I liked the combo of adding kind of two sort of subgenres together. Was it super effective for this particular movie? Nah. The thing is that the last, like, I don't know, 10 minutes or so is pretty much they're like, oh shit, we forgot to explain everything, so, fuck, just throw in some shit in there. It's like they rushed the whole finale without really giving us any information, really, throughout the movie itself. But you know what, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just felt really rushed. The main actors were pretty decent. The guy, however, he delivered everything very monotone at a certain point. All right, just keep calm. Don't panic. You're gonna be okay if you do not panic. I'm not sure what that accent was supposed to be. But like the monotone delivery got really annoying after a while. There's definitely like a spooky factor here. Some of the imagery was actually pretty frightening. But in the end, it was sort of just like a convoluted mess. I still don't think I understood what was going on in this thing, in this house. I don't know if I truly grasped the story. And that's just on me. I watched it through Prime Video. I don't think I watched it through an add-on. But it's an interesting movie. It's decent. It's different. It's unique. It just wasn't super effective for me personally. You might love it, and that's great. But maybe this can bring forth some new movies of this type that are more effective, you know? I give this 5.5 out of 10. So there you go. Do you all remember this movie? The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox? This was an early Peter Jackson movie, you know, the guy who did Lord of the Rings. I was just reminded of this movie the other day, and I was happy I was reminded of it, because now I want to watch it again. I remember, like, this being, like, one of my favorite movies. It came out when I was, like, 10 or 11 years old. I was a kid. But basically, Michael J. Fox, his character, I think, lost his wife. Like, she died. And ever since then, he is now able to see ghosts and talk to them. And then he, like, uses this to, like, scam people, you know, out of money until shit gets really real and scary. And so now he has to stop, like, this new scary entity from, you know, killing people. And it has some really cool visuals. You have stuff like these ghosts kind of reaching out of paintings. They push themselves through walls. And it looks like this. I just remember this movie as a kid freaking me out. Even though it's kind of like a comedy, a dark comedy. I think it was just the visuals when I was younger that were like, I don't like it. It also has a really over-the-top villain who is delightful. And yeah, it's just it's a fun movie. I have to find it. I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon, but I think you have to buy it or rent it. But yeah, I'm gonna try to find it and rewatch it to see if it still has that same magic that it did when I was, 10 or 11 years old. Time will tell. Ooh, motherfucker. Is a line that was unfortunately never said in this movie. It could have been so much better. Anyway, the movie is called The Monkey. It is based on a short story by the one, the only, Stephen King. Came out in 2025. It's an hour and 38 minutes long. It's a horror movie. When twin brothers find a mysterious wind-up monkey, a series of outrageous deaths tears their family apart. 25 years later, the monkey begins a new killing spree, forcing the estranged siblings to confront the cursed toy. But don't call it a toy, I guess, was a rule. Never really established exactly why you couldn't call it a toy. But anyway, you can now stream this, renting or buying it on Prime Video. I thought it was a pretty decent movie. I thought it was actually kind of fun. It definitely, from what I understand, the original story is just straight serious, like beginning to end. But the director of this movie decided to inject a little bit of comedy just because, like, it's centered around a evil toy. And it, it does have a few moments where it's actually kind of funny. And it reminded me to a degree of the Final Destination movies, not because of the plot or anything, but because of the deaths. The way people died in this movie was so extreme and so bloody. They died by, like, these freak accidents. And let me tell you, apparently, the guy who directed this must think that when you die in any way, shape, or form, your body explodes. Jumping into a pool of electrified water, boom, you're exploded. You take a shotgun blast to the chest, boom, your whole body's in pieces. You got pointy mailboxes going directly through people's heads that are on fire. All sorts of really fun deaths. This is obviously not a movie to take all that seriously, of course. I don't know, it's different. For some reason, it just felt like a different type of movie. And I thought it was, for the most part, pretty enjoyable. I kind of wish there would have been, like, peppered in some more, like, I don't know, maybe backstory. Like, Adam Scott has a cameo at the very beginning of the movie. I wish they would have elaborated where he got the monkey from and what the monkey's all about. But maybe sometimes being ambiguous or giving no backstory is better. Normally I would say yeah, but for some reason I'm like, I would have loved to know the origins of this thing and why it does the things it does exactly. It doesn't talk, by the way. This isn't like a Chucky situation. This is one of those sorry, we need to call you toy. Apologize. Oh, please don't explode my body. I don't have time for that. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, he's not like Chucky. He doesn't, like, talk or anything. It's just an actual thing, mechanism, device of monkey shape that goes, like, smiles, and it does, like, the little drum things, and it has a little drumstick. That's all he does. It's like Donkey Kong's evil stepkid or something. I don't know. But it's an entertaining movie. It's not fantastic. It's not gonna wow you. But it's just a genuinely solid horror movie. Don't really have a lot of issues with it. whatever issues I may have had were like insignificant. It's just silly fun, right? And that's sometimes all you want from a horror movie. So yeah, I would recommend The Monkey. I would give it 7 out of 10. Yeah. Not quit monkeying around and just watch the... I really should not have ended that way, but I did. Things that white people say. My God, my forehead is gigantic. Anyway. Levels of white anger ranked. Son of a gun. All right, bucko. You just hold your horses. Well, now wait just a minute. Newsflash, pal. Listen here, buddy. I got more old-timey news anchor the farther I got. White people be calling their grandparents the weirdest names. The fuck is a Mima? The fuck is a Mima? I barely ever actually knew my grandparents, if I'm being honest with you. On both sides. White people love to say, this ain't my first rodeo, when in fact, they have never been to a rodeo. Accurate. White people love saying, well, someone's not happy, when they hear a child crying somewhere, or an adult. White people love saying something went down the wrong pipe when they choke. I say wrong tube. Oh, these are dangerous. White people love saying, get these away from me, after they've eaten a few chips. Apparently my white guy voice is not my voice, as I am white, but it is a Midwesterner, I guess. White people love to say, well, there's my workout for the week, after climbing like 2 flights of stairs. I say that when I walk from the kitchen back to my bedroom. Multiple times a day, of course, because on account of being fat. White people love to say, see you next... Oh, I fucking hate this. See you next year at 11:59 on New Year's. Oh, I hate when people say that. It is always a white person. White people be white peopling. White people love saying, looks like you got some sun. White people love saying, oh, fuck, I'm guilty of this. When someone asks you, how's it going? Us white people, this is accurate for me, it's going. White people love to say, nice blinker, when someone turns without one. Yeah. Yep. Or, go, it's green. It's a green arrow, fucker, just turn. I added more to this one. White people love saying, fancy meeting you here, when their friends to their friends when arriving at a pre-planned destination to see those friends. Fucking white people, man. White people love saying, anywho, fuck, I feel seen and called out. White people love saying, it must be free then, when something isn't scanning at the registry. Yeah. I worked at a bank as a teller, and I was all right, how do you want your cash back? Millions, please. And I'm like, get the fuck out of this bank right now. You're not getting your money, I'm taking it. And then chuckling when they have to pay for something. White people live to add the word freaking into a word like, freaking hilarious, or no freaking way. Congratulations. Well, I say fucking, but you know. Congratulations. Let's skedaddle. White people love saying, ready, Freddy? When they're about to leave someplace. I hate us. Thing 1 or thing 2? Who wore it best? What? I don't know. So I am now officially 40 years old. And in that 40-year lifespan, I have somehow never seen The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. It came out way back in 1982 when I was -3 years old. So I decided to watch it yesterday. So being in 2025 and seeing the movie for the very first time, you're obviously going to have a different look at the movie based on all of the years of movies we've had since then with all the visuals and stuff. But I want to say that this movie, even though, it was kind of cheesy, the effects were at times cheesy, but again, it's 1982. It was actually a rather enjoyable movie. It had Kurt Russell in it. It had Keith David, Wilford Brimley, who has diabetes, and it's gross as shit. It's really disgusting. I think an episode of The X-Files from way back in season 1, I think they based that episode sort of around the kind of general plot of this movie, and now I can see it. What I love about this is that the way they created this monster, I'm pretty sure it was just, whatever we got, throw it together, we'll just whatever, and then we'll throw it in a blender, and then we'll sculpt it into whatever, and that's the monster. You want it to have 16 arms instead of 3? Do it. You want it to have penises for eyeballs? Do it. They didn't do that, but you could have. Sure, mush 2 faces together and stretch them out. Really fuck with people who have tryptophobia, especially. I just applaud them back in 1980, early 1980s for having been this creative, making the design of these little creatures and monsters. Now, I had no idea that they did a second The Thing movie. I thought it was going to be a reboot. This came out in 2011, but it's actually a prequel. And yeah, it's not anywhere near as good as the original. But I will say that they did a really good job of recreating the station where all this happened, and it was also equally disgusting. They really kind of were very consistent with the creatures and the monsters from the original movie, because they kind of had to. You have to stay with the same concept and design, because this is literally a direct prequel. What I also loved was that the final moments of the film, as the credits are rolling, it's literally showing you a rebooted version of the opening scene of the original The Thing. So in terms of its the prequel, how soon it takes place before the original one, it's literally within seconds, minutes. So it's like a really seamless blend. Like if you were to watch this one first and then watch the 1982 version, it would be like watching one long movie. This one looks a lot cleaner than the other. I would probably give the original The Thing an 8 out of 10. I'd give the prequel like a 5.5 out of 10. It wasn't awful. No, it didn't really offer a whole lot new. I would have loved to see like the origin of these creature things. Give us some backstory. That would have been kind of neat, but they didn't. So really, it's just rehashing the entire original movie and making it look prettier and nicer and cleaner. Both movies are on Amazon Prime. I rented them. It was like $3 to rent, so I was bored. I said, what the hell? I'll watch it. Okay? Anyway, the original, definitely better than the prequel. Things white people say number 2. And in case you did not know, I am a white person. White people love saying thingamajigger. Oh, Jesus, right off the bat. Yep. I say thingamajigger for everything. Yeah, can you get the thingamajigger over there? And everyone they instantly know what you mean. If a white person says, I tell you what, you're about to get the best deal ever. I don't know if I've ever used that one. White people love saying, whoa, this is going to clear my sinuses. After eating anything spicy, it's true. It's true, we do say that. But sometimes it's true. Boogies come running out of your nose like liquid lava. White people on the phone love saying, I'll touch base with you tomorrow. The fuck is this? Capture the flag? It's true. We do love saying that. White people love saying, hello, stranger, after you've taken a day off of work. You might have actually seen him earlier actually, you know what? You might have seen him like 20 minutes ago. You see him again, you're like, hey, stranger, aren't I funny? No, white people, no. White people love saying, let's take a silly one now, during a group picture. Yeah. White people love saying, $1 million when the server asks if you need anything else. White people love saying, let that sink in, like it's a mic drop. Yeah. Now you let that sink in, bub. Huh? White people love saying, must have knew we were coming when a front row parking spot is open. Why are we so stupid? White people love saying, that's okay, we'll go for a ride, when they get on an up elevator but want to go down. Okay, I can't relate to this one because I avoid elevators like the plague, because you can get your head severed in those damn things, okay? Severed. In a non-disturbing way, of course. White people love saying, whoa, it's a party in here, when entering a crowded elevator, or crowded anything. Now just give me a Zima, and the party is definitely beginning. White people love saying, cool your jets, mister. Sometimes if they want to cuss, they'll say gall dern, like, cool your gall dern jets, mister. White people love saying, it's a hit at potlucks. Even if you bring pre-made, pre-packaged grocery store fried chicken. It's a hit. Yeah, Jerry, it's a hit because everyone loves fried chicken. White people love saying, I'm still nibbling on it when the waitress tries to take up their plate. Got like crumbs left on there. Oh no, I'm not finished yet. Can I get a to-go bag? White people love saying gracias to the cashier at Chipotle, except we say it, gracias, okay? Gracias, yeah. White people love saying 50 cents. Actually, I'm pretty sure white people say, is that the 50 cent rap star? White people, we're just so white. Ugh. Get off my lawn. This movie could have been saved by Clint Eastwood just telling her to get off the yard. But here we are. I watched Woman in the Yard last yesterday. A mysterious woman repeatedly appears in a family's front yard, often delivering chilling warnings and unsettling messages, leaving them to question her identity, motives, and the potential danger she might pose. It wasn't really received well. It stars Danielle Deadwyler, who was in Till. Essentially, she lives at her home on this farm property with her 2 kids. They had just suffered a recent tragedy. Her husband and their father died. So that's created a very emotional, kind of turmoil within the house. I want to say this real quick. Horror movies are an underappreciated and I think underused vessel for good, like actual solid storytelling. I think of movies like Hereditary or Get Out, where these are movies where you could tell a movie with like a solid message. I just don't think we don't see it enough. And this is another one of those types of movies. I had a hard time really watching this and going, oh yeah, this is a horror movie. To me, this is more of like a serious family drama with a horror element added in, primarily in the last act of the movie. Danielle Deadwyler is absolutely fantastic in this movie. Her two kids, the actors are fantastic as well. There are some kind of neat visuals, and she's very ominous. Did it all work perfectly? I don't really know. Like, I actually kind of disagree with the critical consensus. I actually thought this was a relatively decent movie. I liked the story and the message kind of at the end. But it does also have a very ambiguous ending. It's not like, not cut and dry. It's not spoon-fed to you. It's kind of one of those things where like, almost like an Inception style ending. It's like really up to your interpretation, which I think is actually kind of a cool thing to do. But does it work as a horror movie? I don't get scared in movies, like, ever. So, personally, I did not find this to be remotely scary. But then again, I find almost no horror movie to be scary. I understand what they were trying to do with the concept of this woman in the yard and who or what she represents. Like, I totally got it. But did they pull it off perfectly? I don't think so. There was just something kind of missing. Maybe nothing was really missing and it was too generalized. It just felt like two separate types of movies. And there are movies like Hereditary and Get Out, where you have a really fantastic blend of horror and family drama that really like meshes well together. I just don't know if this one had that same effect. At least it didn't really for me. But at the same time, I also did not hate this movie. I thought it was a very decent movie. I'll never watch it again. It doesn't really have a rewatchability factor to it. But I didn't think it was as bad as some of the critics and other moviegoers are saying it was. I don't know. It's a decent but forgettable kind of movie that could have been maybe a little bit better. So, that answers none of your questions. Anyway, there we go. I'll give it 6 out of 10.